You surely remember this legendary moment. The red bustier, the star-spangled blue trunks, and the shimmering tiara of the Amazonian goddess. This is Wonder Woman, the 1975 television masterpiece that turned Lynda Carter into an enduring icon of the superhero genre. Our protagonist is the powerful Princess Diana, who leaves Paradise Island to protect humanity. By her side is pilot Steve Trevor, the source of many romantic moments, but also the catalyst for countless dangerous encounters. Yet the most shocking parts are the wardrobe malfunctions and the props so ridiculous they'll have you rewinding just to ask, how did they even come up with something that weird? Behind these legendary scenes lie many behind-the-scenes secrets and bizarre details. Today we're diving into the 20 most paused moments by audiences. Before we begin, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our latest videos. 20. The Golden Eagle outfit and the sensitive secrets behind it.
I understand that I am Earthborn, Andros. This is my planet, my world. I know my mother, the Queen, and my sisters on Paradise Island would all agree with me.
This was the opening episode featuring the iconic ensemble, the red bustier, star-spangled blue trunks, and red boots. However, few know that wearing this outfit was actually a horrific experience. To ensure the costume wouldn't slip, designers had to sew in a fixed lining. This lining was incredibly tight, reinforced with steel boning and specialized adhesive tape. This made Lynda Carter's life miserable, especially when she had to lift heavy objects. If you look closely, you'll notice the blue trunks in the early episodes had a fairly low-cut leg line. However, to create the illusion of longer legs, designers eventually raised the hip cut. This change sparked considerable controversy among viewers who felt she looked a bit too provocative. And here is another secret: satin and shiny fabrics are a nightmare for the skin. The outfit had zero breathability, turning every filming session into a brutal ordeal. During certain action sequences, the bust area frequently shifted out of place. The crew had to scrap a massive amount of footage because it simply looked too awkward for broadcast. 19. The controversial dark blue swimsuit scene. In several episodes, Diana appears in a dark blue swimsuit covered in her signature star pattern. While it looked stunning on screen, the reality was far less glamorous. The suit was so tight that Lynda Carter found it incredibly difficult to breathe during underwater scenes. However, the real issue lay elsewhere. The outfit was considered far too revealing for the time. If you watch the clip closely, you'll understand why it left many viewers blushing bright red. The fit was so suggestive that audiences back then often joked, "I see London, I see France." Even though Lynda Carter still radiated movie star charisma, squeezing a superhero into a suffocating swimsuit, leading to several wardrobe malfunctions on national television, was clearly a controversial move by the producers. 18. The interrogation scene. Wonder Woman is taken to Berlin.
Get the camouflage nets off the airplane and get Wonder Woman inside. We have to take off as soon as she's inside.
Do you remember that tension-filled moment when Wonder Woman was captured by the Nazis and brought to Berlin? This sequence wasn't just dramatic. It contained certain details that made viewers blush, evoking thoughts of more stimulating games. The irony lay in the power dynamic. Diana, a goddess of immense strength, was rendered completely passive while her captors loomed over her. Among enthusiasts, the scene of a powerful woman being bound and forced to speak the truth has always carried a provocative genetic code. It calls to mind the aesthetics of power play, where resistance and surrender blend together in a fascinating way. To understand why this scene feels so suggestive, we have to look back at William Moulton Marston, the creator of Wonder Woman. He was a known proponent of the theories of dominance and submission. For Marston, seeing Diana bound was a metaphor for a very specific, thrilling kind of obedience. 17. Diana, running along the shore in a pale purple dress.
What do you think it is? I think it's called a parachute. But what's it doing here on Paradise Island?
No Wonder Woman fan could ever forget this iconic scene. Diana runs along the beach in a pale purple Greek-style dress. Under the sun of Paradise Island, the thin silk layers create a look brimming with vitality. That's exactly why, when pilot Steve Trevor crashed onto the shore, the first thing he saw was a real-life goddess. To be honest, I can't think of a more ideal place to fall from the sky. Waking up to see Lynda Carter right before your eyes, it doesn't get any better than that. I'd love to experience that feeling just once myself. And here's the secret behind the magic. The dress was actually a trap when it met the wind in seawater. Every time Lynda broke into a run, the long hem would wrap tightly around her legs. Combined with the sinking sand, she nearly wiped out more times than anyone could count. 16. Romantic scenes between Diana and Steve Trevor.
Relax. Take it easy. We owe ourselves a little vacation. Some fun.
What are you doing?
The dialogues between Diana and Steve Trevor were the romantic soul that breathed life into the entire series. To me, they truly were a perfect match. While Lynda Carter possessed a radiant beauty, Lyle Waggoner was the epitome of a true gentleman. Do you remember the scene where a Steve Trevor imposter flirted with Diana Prince, leading her to suspect his true identity? The fascinating part is that for a brief moment, Diana actually seemed ready to return that kiss. However, in stark contrast to their on-screen warmth, the real-life relationship between Lynda Carter and Lyle Waggoner was reportedly quite cold. Many fans much preferred the duo's interaction in Season 2. In Season 1, Diana often felt more like a secretary. By Seasons 2 and 3, while the focus remained on Wonder Woman, Steve truly began to recognize and respect her immense talent. 15. Diana in the transparent plastic plane, the most ridiculed scene of the century.
Los Alamos, this is Wonder Woman. Can you tell me if flight 69 or 578's arrived?
Wonder Woman.
Do you remember this one? Diana Prince, sitting in the cockpit, hands gripping invisible levers amidst the clouds. This was supposed to be one of the most advanced weapons of Themyscira, the stealth plane capable of bypassing any radar, but instead it became the most hilarious scene of the century. At the time, I probably felt just like you, wanting to mock this aircraft for looking like a cheap plastic toy. However, bringing it to the screen was actually a massive headache. The crew had to construct an entire airframe out of transparent plexiglass. But do you notice the absurdity? If the plane is invisible to deceive enemies, then why are Diana and the interior decor sitting there plain as day in the middle of the sky? On top of that, being trapped inside this sealed plastic frame caused temperatures to soar, making Lynda Carter extremely uncomfortable. Since everything was transparent, the actors had to stay incredibly focused to avoid revealing that they were essentially locked in such a cramped space. 14. Dangling from a helicopter, without safety gear. A producer's nightmare. In the episode Ansel Castle, Audiences were left breathless as they watched Wonder Woman fearlessly grip the landing skids of a taking-off helicopter. But here's the kicker: Lynda Carter performed this entire stunt herself, without a stunt double. Even more shocking, she clung to those skids as the chopper lifted off the ground completely devoid of safety harnesses or any protective netting below. Originally, the crew planned to shoot the scene using a much safer method. However, Lynda managed to convince the pilot and the operators to let her do it personally. The producers were absolutely mortified by this decision. One tiny slip or a momentary loss of grip would have resulted in an unspeakable tragedy. 13. The Bullets and Bracelets Contest on Paradise Island.
Go in peace, my daughter. And remember that in the world of ordinary mortals, you are a Wonder Woman.
Before departing her homeland, Diana had to endure a grueling trial to earn the title of Wonder Woman. You likely remember the iconic parting words, "Remember that in the world of ordinary mortals, you are a Wonder Woman." In the original script, this competition was far more brutal. However, to meet television standards, producers scaled back the violence, choosing instead to highlight the physical grace and agility of the Amazon warriors. Furthermore, the sound of bullets ricocheting off the silver bracelets was actually a clever mix of a hammer striking an anvil and a sharp whistle. To heighten the tension, sound engineers had to align every millisecond so each clang matched the sparks flying from Lynda Carter's wrists. Despite the cinematic magic, Carter was forced to wear heavy wire-laden bracelets all day under the scorching sun of the film set. 12. Drusilla's surprise appearance in America.
Drusilla! Hi, Diana.
Drusilla's Wonder Girl arrival in the United States didn't just stun Diana, it served as one of the series' biggest narrative jolts. But do you know the real reason behind her sudden appearance? Behind the scenes, the studio was quietly developing a spin-off series centered entirely on Wonder Girl. Drusilla was a commercial lure designed to gauge audience interest. Producers wanted to see if a version of the hero who was younger, more impulsive, and more human than Diana could spark a new obsession. Here is the most intriguing secret actress. Deborah Winger was never truly invested in the role. Winger later admitted she felt suffocated by the superhero costume and used her entire salary to buy out her contract, successfully escaping the series after only a few episodes. 11. Dangerous stunt: deflecting bullets with silver bracelets. You likely remember the iconic scene where Diana shields Steve Trevor. An explosion rings out Diana. Prince doesn't flinch. With extraordinary speed, she raises her silver bracelets. Sparks fly everywhere as bullets ricochet amidst the clanging of metal. Few realize that the production eschewed CGI to create those sparks. Instead, they attached miniature explosive squibs directly onto Lynda Carter's bracelets. Each time she performed the deflection, Lynda had to execute her arm movements with pinpoint precision. A deviation of just 1 millimeter could have resulted in burns or a trip to the hospital. In the sequence where Diana protects Steve Trevor, we see only a woman of supreme poise. In reality, she had to fight the natural reflex to blink when dangerous objects were inches from her face. She trained extensively to keep her eyes wide open while explosives were detonated right on her wrists. 10. Diana Prince knocked unconscious by aliens. In this scene, Diana Prince appears glamorous in tight trousers and a blouse. However, the moment she steps into the apartment, she is ambushed by the Skrill siblings. Despite Diana's efforts to fight back, the alien Sardor overpowers her with ease. The climax sees the Amazon warrior knocked unconscious by a tiny weapon, forcing Andros to rush to her rescue and revive her. But here is the catch: although stunt woman Jeannie Epper gave her all Wonder Woman was actually prohibited from throwing punches at the time due to producer restrictions. Furthermore, in the original lore, Diana is an entity capable of lifting 100 tons, stopping mountains, and even holding her own against Superman in parallel universes. Yet this series transformed her into a far more vulnerable figure. 9. Audacious rescue on horseback.
You're okay now, Skip. Relax. He'll take you back, won't you, boy? Don't be afraid.
The equestrian sequence in The Boy Who Knew Her Secret is a striking blend of cinematic beauty and logical inquiry. Many viewers wondered, why ride a horse when she possesses the speed of Mercury? There are two primary reasons. First, aesthetics. The image of an Amazon goddess atop a steed creates an epic, breathtaking frame. Second, passenger safety. Skip is a mere mortal who could not withstand the G-force of Diana running at supersonic speeds. Thus, a horse was the most pragmatic vessel for a safe extraction. Notably, those high-speed gallops were largely performed by Kitty O'Neil, one of the greatest stunt women in history. Deaf and a world record holder, her fearless spirit is what fueled the raw bravery seen on screen. 8. Diana battles the gorilla.
What have they done to you? Oh! Stop! I can't breathe. We're friends.
The confrontation between Wonder Woman and the giant gorilla Gargantua remains one of the series' most humane subplots. Gargantua was not inherently vicious. He was captured and reprogrammed by Nazi agents to serve as a biological weapon against Wonder Woman. Instead of using brute force, Diana attempted to communicate through compassion. She asserted that on Paradise Island, Amazons coexist peacefully with all creatures. By the story's end, rather than seeing Gargantua caged in a zoo, Diana ensured his return to the wild. She maintained that no living being should be reduced to a tool of human conflict. 7. The transformation spin.
Thank you, Yeoman Prince.
Remember this seaside moment? Diana stands in a black dress, and boom, she spins into the Amazon warrior. The evolution continued in Season 2, where she transformed while wearing a pink floral dress. In the debut season, the script never called for a spin. Originally, Diana was meant to simply run behind an obstacle and emerge in costume. It was Lynda Carter, drawing on her dance background, who suggested the rhythmic transformation. However, the reality was grueling. The constant spinning left Carter severely dizzy and nauseated. She eventually had to employ professional ballet techniques to remain upright as the sparkles faded. To mask the costume change, editors layered light flares and hand-drawn effects over the footage, creating the iconic flash we know today. 6. Diana throws the tiara as a weapon. The moment Diana removes her tiara and flings it like a boomerang to disarm enemies from a distance has become legendary. But did you know the tiara was a technical nightmare? In reality, that brilliant golden weapon was merely plated hard plastic. Lynda Carter broke dozens of them during filming. Every time a throwing scene was shot, the props department had to keep a stockpile ready for immediate replacement. The greatest challenge, however, wasn't the throwing itself. To prevent the tiara from flying off Carter's head during her signature transformation spin, the technical crew struggled with various manual fastening methods just to keep it secure. 5. The Amazon Kingdom under threat.
You excel in the games. It pleases me.
Oh, thank you, Mother.
I hear you're doing well in your studies.
Thank you.
Your instructors like you.
Oh, well, I like them.
The scenes on Paradise Island featuring the ranks of Amazon warriors always evoke a sense of epic grandeur. Yet few suspect that behind this mythical beauty lies a high-tech defense system far ahead of its time. The Amazons possessed a fleet of sophisticated stealth aircraft capable of sonic scanning and precision long-range strikes. During World War II, when Axis forces trespassed into the Bermuda Triangle, the Amazon warriors launched lightning aerial raids, crushing any ambition to reach the mysterious island. This raises a compelling question. Does the true power of the Amazons lie in ancient magic or in technical intellect, centuries ahead of humanity? Let me know in the comments below. 4. Diana and the Pied Piper's lure. In this sequence, Diana tracks Hamlin Rule to his lair. Rule attempts to subdue Wonder Woman using flute melodies and hallucinogenic lights, believing his music can enslave anyone, even an Amazon. But the secret lies in how Wonder Woman shattered the ruse. Unlike mortals lured by the sound, Diana utilized absolute focus and mental fortitude honed on Paradise Island. She remained unshaken by the hypnotic melodies, leaving Hamlin Rule in complete shock. Interestingly, actor Martin Mull, who played Hamlin Rule, was a musician in real life. His finger placements on the flute were authentic. However, the electronic flute prop was actually a tangled mess of wires that the technical team had to meticulously hide beneath his costume. 3. The battle between Diana and Robot. You might remember this scene. Diana Prince is in her office when a small device resembling a miniature rover suddenly appears. She looks surprised and wonders who let it into her room. Later, Diana discusses the origin of this object with a colleague. They discover that a key component of it was specially ordered 2 days prior by someone named William Havital. Although the device in the office is a fake, the mastermind's goal is to steal the missing IRAQ program. This program contains classified information that could cripple the nation's defense system. One final Easter egg. Did you spot Robbie the Robot from Forbidden Planet making a cameo in this episode? It was a subtle nod from the producers to dedicated sci-fi aficionados. 2. Diana, heaving a car. It is impossible to forget the moment Diana Prince nonchalantly walks up and hoists the rear of a heavy sedan as if it were a mere plastic toy. Do you recall that look of pure bewilderment on everyone's faces? That police officer stood there completely frozen, witnessing a slender woman wielding such terrifying, raw, muscular strength. Beyond mere lifting, There are sequences where Diana stands firm against a charging vehicle. The front of the car crumples, smoke billows out, yet she remains as unshakable as a monument. Watching that one, can't help but exclaim, "Wow, that was absolutely intense." You surely remember the distinct twang or the deep metallic resonance that echoed whenever Wonder Woman exerted her strength. It created a unique rhythm signaling to every viewer in front of their TV. It's over for the crooks, she's taking action. 1. Diana's use of the lasso of truth.
Yeah, let's check.
Sorry to disappoint you, fellas. Okay.
Whenever Diana hurls her shimmering golden lasso to compel an enemy to speak the truth, it is always a moment of profound power and justice. Did you think this lasso was made of neon lights? Not quite to make the lariat glow. The crew wrapped electrical wires around the rope and connected them to a battery pack. However, the insulation frequently wore down due to friction as Lynda Carter performed her lasso maneuvers. As a result, during scenes involving the interrogation of criminals, both Lynda Carter and the actors playing the villains often received literal shocks. This occurred so frequently that the production team had to keep several backup lassos on hand to replace them whenever the internal wiring short-circuited. In certain close-up shots, that brilliant radiance was actually achieved by wrapping the rope in neon reflective tape, combined with high-intensity spotlights positioned behind the lens. Wonder Woman 1975 is more than just a superhero series. It is a vibrant fragment of memory where epic beauty harmonizes with the most authentic practical efforts of the filmmaking crew. Don't miss the full list of moments that made millions of viewers hold their breath and hit the pause button. Which scene in this countdown impressed you the most? Leave a comment below to relive the memories of the Amazon goddess.